I'm starting with a very simple wooden box frame. I'm adding a piece of 3/4 inch plywood to the top. Um, the base of this is actually, I throw axes as a hobby, and that's what these pieces are. They've been outside for a long time, and they're my cast-offs. The inside of these are really chewed up. What I'm using here is drywall joint compound. You can look at the board and see how warped some of them are. And what I'm doing is I'm using the drywall joint compound to just fill those gaps like a spackle. What that's going to do is that's going to make this look like it's all one piece, nice and smooth. Once it's all applied, I can sand it. But the big deal here is to go around and fill in any big gaps that obviously make it look like wood. I'm also going to hit my screw holes, and I'm going to hit any cracks in the wood that are very wood-like. Certain things are very much the nature of wood materials as opposed to, stone, which is normally pretty smooth, and its chips are really craggy as opposed to going with a grain. So that's something that I'm going to keep in mind while I am working on this to make it look smooth like stone. I have my wooden box, and I have it all drywall joint compound. This was really warped, the wood that I used, so you might not have to do as much drywall joint compound, but I had a lot of big seams and gaps that I had to fill. I'm just taking a green scrubby and kind of partially sanding down all of the drywall joint compound. I don't need it to be perfect, so I'm not, killing myself on it. It's a haunt, it's viewed from a distance, so I'm just being aware of that. So I'm going to go ahead and add my trim. This is a roll of pink insulation foam. I find it in Home Depot. It's in a 50-foot roll. It costs about $5. I use it a lot for fake stonework because on this side it has these ridges. It's great to go around doorways, and once you paint it, it's already foam. It looks like stone. So I'm going to apply it to the base of these. I'm just going to staple this trim on. It doesn't look like much now, but when the dry brush gets on there, this will be a nice accent on this. That's my base trim. Now I'm going to do a trick for the top trim. I'm going to cut the pool noodle in half and use it to make a half round all the way around the top of this. To make sure that these stick, I'm going to use PL 300, which is a foam board adhesive. This is foam and this is a board. So, I mean, it's a good adhesive for foam. And I'm going to be pretty liberal with it. So I've got a tiny bit left here, and then I'll open up the new one. Okay, I have it good and buttered up. I did some angle cuts in the corners. I'm going to go ahead and just push it on. That adhesive will do most of the work for me. how I'm cutting these corners is I'm just going to lay it underneath and eyeball it, but I'm going to run my... How I'm cutting these corners is I'm going to lay it underneath, and I'm going to eyeball it, and I'm going to run my X-Acto blade just along the other one, so I know the angle that I'm cutting at. And now those should match up pretty perfect. Also, because an actor is going to be stepping up and stepping off of these, if I put this right up on the lip, that actor's foot is going to push it down and move it or trip on it on the way up. If I move it down here, his foot should clear on the way up and he won't knock it off repeatedly on the way down. I'm going to use my razor knife here and just round off this edge. And now, because my cuts aren't perfect, I've got a bit of a gap there. Just going to fill it. Simply fill it. Use my scraper, make sure it goes where it needs to go. I'm going to work my way around and do all the corners. As far as each piece goes, that's all the wet work done. The foam is now on and drying. The foam down here is stapled on, and I ran a bead of PL 300 underneath of it to help hold it on at top and bottom. And it's also stapled. This is just glued on. It's below my top piece because an actor is going to be faking a living statue. Some will have statues, one will have an actor, but this way they're all on the same podium, so they all look the same. So I'll paint it next. So right now, this doesn't look like much because it's all these separate pieces and separate colors. I'm going to give it a base coat of gray, and when I dry brush it, all this will pop. One of the secrets to fake stonework is that everything is stone molding if you paint it to look like stone. I mean, I'm happen to be using this as a half round, it's a pool noodle. I happen to use the pink stuff because when I dry brush it, it's got all these nice ridges on it. And those ridges are going to pop, and you'll be able to see them really well, and it'll look like, a certain look of stone. So I'm going to get this base coated, and then I'll do a quick dry brush and show you the end result. So I've just given this a base spray paint, and then I used another can of lighter spray paint as a directional spray, just to hit the highlights in the top, because I could go back with a black and just shoot from underneath, just to darken up underneath. But I think this will be sufficient. And now I'm just going to go ahead and dry brush with some quick white acrylic in order to make this look cool. All right, from that you can tell how this stone pedestal is going to look. I'm going to have actors stand on top of these. They're this high, and I'm going to have several of them are fake statues, and one's going to be a fake statue. So yeah, actor scare, easy, quick stone paint. Thanks for watching. You have to leave Daddy alone. He's got to work. Daddy's got to work.